I'm not going to give you an explosive intro today, people. And the reason is because I have to ask our official co-host a very important question before we get started today.
Okay, hit me with it.
How did it feel taking not one, but 2 L's from me in fantasy football this week?
That's crazy. Dude, that felt uncalled for.
All creation through bomb and form, the greatest to ever do it like Kareem in the form, or Dame at the buzzer, Skip at the rucker, 96 Bulls, the GOAT, there's no other. Bulls and Goats get some wins, but never cover. The word gave the answer to sin. No stuff.
Hello, everyone. Of course, Eric knows exactly what's going on. My name is Davion. With me, as always, is my co-host, Eric. And we are here at Behind the Plays. You know what we do. You know what we're about. We're a sports podcast. And I would really appreciate if you're listening on any of the platforms that you like to listen to your favorite podcasts on, hit that heart or like button that they give you. Or if you're on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe your video, and share the video or the podcast wherever you like it. So, we really appreciate that. We had some interesting games this week.
Yes, we did.
I'm using the interesting term very loosely because I think there were a lot of week 1 rusts.
For sure.
Literally every quarterback I felt like had week 1 rust.
Oh my gosh. I mean, watching the early games on Red Zone, it felt like, in the first quarter, I think maybe just about every game had a turnover by that point. Like, it felt like one after another, and they were like bad turnovers too, like bad fumbles, like misplayed snaps, like all kinds of weird stuff. Like, it was a rusty week 1. Defense was the name of the game all week until Sunday Night Football. That was like the only exception, really.
Which technically defense was still there, just not for one side of the football.
But, like, it felt like it was a lot of the games this week were really close because of good defensive battles.
Yeah.
Like, for the most part, it was relatively low scoring.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the Eagles-Patriots from beginning to end, and for anyone who doesn't know, I do stream all of the Eagles games, excluding exactly this week coming up because we're on TNF, and I won't be able to do that. I might get the second half in, but definitely not the first half. So, a little upsetting. But, the Patriots-Eagles game literally came down to, like, a final drive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was a great game.
Oh, yeah, there are lots of good games all over the league this week, for sure.
But very defensive battles.
It's just that none of them were on Sunday Night Football.
Correct. That actually was, that was the worst game that happened this week.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I can't think of a worse one.
Yeah, 40-0, bro. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane. Yeah, good thing you paid Daniel Jones all that money, but messed up your relationship with Saquon Barkley,
Yeah. Life is good. Anyways.
God. I couldn't imagine being a Giants fan. That's crazy, man.
Life would suck, says the Broncos fan. But so. All right, let's break down some games. Let's talk about week 1. Kind of give some brief recap, insights into all 16 games that happened week 1, and we'll give some predictions for what we think is going to happen week 2 based on what we saw week 1.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, in theory, that's what we're going to predict, but you never know with how these go. We can always...
It's true, because, for example, this week in Pick'ems, I went a whopping 9-7.
Yep, as you can tell, I didn't win my bets.
Yeah, and you could win. Yeah, if we won the bets, we'd be taking the week off for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That would have went straight to my spend more money at Grease fund.
I went 9-7, and I believe you went 8-8.
I did go 8-8
on predictions. Okay, it's all right. Comeback starts right now.
We aren't below 500 though to start the season, which is good.
True. You
good
are 500.
It's good for us. No below 500. We haven't been below 500 overall, I think, ever. I think we've had
no.
I think we've had
some weeks where we go like 7 and 9, but
and those are our off the wall predictions. But right now, we're okay. We're okay.
All right, let's talk about Thursday Night Football.
What a game!
Recapping Lions Chiefs. This is a pretty solid game. You were correct in predicting the Lions to beat the defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs, which was crazy. And ultimately it came down to, I think the Chiefs really were missing two key players in particular. Yeah. Travis Kelce ended up not playing, though they are optimistic that he will be back for week 2.
Yep.
And the other one, Chris Jones, too,
Yes.
didn't play because he was holding out.
Holding out.
But
He got his contract.
He not exactly, but
His
yeah.
1 year contract.
He ended his holdout. He didn't even get really a new contract. I don't know if you've read the detail. Have you seen the details on it?
I thought he re-signed, or he signed an extension for a year.
He signed an extension for a year. It's the exact same salary that he made, but they just added more incentives. Like, you get this many sacks, we'll give you this much money. And outside of that, it's the same contract for the same money. They're giving him bonuses, I guess. And they're hoping for a long-term deal in the offseason.
So then why on earth? Why did he hold out then? If he's just going to settle for something. Anyway.
I don't know. Because I think maybe the Chiefs lost to the Lions. Then Friday morning, Andy Reid said, please, 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 please,
hit him with the
please,
beep,
please,
beep, 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 beep. Chris
Yeah.
Jones, listen, buddy, if you don't get your ass down here right now,
yeah, yeah.
we're just going to cut you, and you're going to figure it out. No one's going to pay you that contract after we cut you.
Yes,
Good
very
luck.
solid game from the Lions. Jared Goff, 22 of 35 for 253 and a touchdown. David Montgomery ran one in, too. That touchdown going to Amon-Ra St. Brown, who,
Yep.
I mean, they had some pretty good days for the receivers, too.
Yeah, you know who else did really
think-
good? Josh Reynolds.
Yes, he had 4 receptions on 80 yards.
Phenomenal.
Amon-Ra had 6 receptions, 71 yards, and a touchdown. And Sam Laporta, their rookie tight end that they drafted, 5 receptions, 39 yards. He was their number 3 receiver this week. So that's definitely a good draft pick for them because they really like him. They really like Gibbs. Yeah.
Super good. Love Sam Laporta. Jameer Gibbs didn't touch the ball as much as I wanted him to, though.
Yes. And the Chiefs didn't really have a bad day in particular, but it's not a good sign when Patrick Mahomes is your leading rusher.
Correct. I also think
MVS is your. But not very. He had 8 carries for only 23 yards, and then he had 4 receptions for 31 yards. So they got him involved at least a little bit. Our boy Clyde, we're big fans of Clyde here on the podcast.
We do love Clyde.
6 carries for 22 yards, so they split it pretty evenly. Clyde only had 1 catch for 7 yards though. Those 2 touchdowns that he threw went to Rashee Rice and backup tight end Blake Bell. Actually, I know Noah Gray is their primary backup when Travis Kelce doesn't play. But yeah, I mean, their leading rusher was Patrick Mahomes. Their leading receiver was MVS with only 2 receptions for 48 yards. So they had a hard time getting the ball downfield and moving the ball downfield, and that's really one of the main struggles that the Chiefs had. You know, this is a team that likes to stretch the field and make explosive plays. It doesn't help when they can't do that, or you have players dropping passes, hypothetically, just in general, players dropping like perfect passes that are right into your hands like 3 times, hypothetically, of course.
Right, and Kadarius Toney looked pretty rough in that department. He really was. It looked like he was trying his best, but his best was just not good enough. Like, it was.
Yeah.
It was rough, dude.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes does have 1 pick. It's his first time throwing a pick in a season opener since he became the starter, and it was not his fault, even a little bit. Like, Kadarius Toney should have caught that ball.
No, yeah, it wasn't even close.
100
to his
times
fault.
out of 100.
Literally, the ball
he
was
should have
in
caught
his
that ball
hand.
101 times out of 100.
I could have caught that. Like, that's how in your hands he had that. Like, all you had to do was just catch the ball.
Yep.
It felt wrong. Like, I don't know, man.
So I think we learned a lot about the Lions and we learned a lot about the Chiefs. I think these are 2 still solid squads. I think the Chiefs, are still the favorites to win the West. I mean, the only team who won a game this week in the AFC West is the Raiders, and I still think they're the worst team in the West.
That's actually kind of crazy that they were the only ones that won the game. But to be fair, they did play the Broncos.
Exactly. So, I mean, Broncos or Raiders, somebody in the West had to win. The Chiefs lost Thursday, and then the Chargers lost on a really good game to the Dolphins. Yeah, I think the Chiefs are still the best team in the West. I think the Lions are absolutely contenders in the North, though I think we were wrong about who their opponents are going to be as the contenders in the North.
Yeah, dude, the Packers looked phenomenal.
Packers looked great, and I can't tell if the Packers look great because the Bears are bad, or the Packers look great because the Packers looked great.
Well, Jordan Love looked great.
He did look really good, I will say. And the Vikings did not look good against the Bucs. So, I mean, I'm still optimistic about the Lions' chances of making a playoff push.
I really got to say, listen, to specifically, I'm so sorry. If you guys see me looking down, it's because I'm staring at my phone because I got a new phone, and now my Twitter won't log back in, or I'm sorry, my X won't log back in. So it's like it's been a pain in the butt, and I had to delete the app, re-download the app. So I'm trying to get in so I could see all the tweets that I wanted to see. And it's annoying. But no, I have to apologize to specifically Jordan Love because, sir, I did not recognize your game, and I have to apologize. Give him the Shaq meme, like I was not familiar with your game.
I will say I saw Jordan Love in college because he played at Utah State, which is in the Mountain West along with Nevada. So we went to Utah State. It was Jordan Love's senior year right before he was drafted by the Packers. So I got to see him play, and like it was pretty impressive. Like he looked like an NFL caliber quarterback, but I was not quite expecting this. So very impressive. I mean, 2 years, 2 years now under Aaron Rodgers will do that to you, I think.
Yeah, like I agree. It's just interesting that because we didn't think he was getting at all any support, so we thought he was just gonna be screwed. But we were wrong.
Yeah,
we were wrong.
Okay, so that's it for Thursday. Lions win 21-20. Let's start Sunday morning. First one we have on our docket is the Browns win big against the Cincinnati Bengals. They win 24-3 in Cleveland. Rainy day in Cleveland.
It was.
Joe Burrow only 14 of 31 for 82 yards. Deshaun Watson only 16 of 29 for 154, one touchdown but one pick. So, I mean, when you have the rain like that, it's gonna come down to your ground game, and the Browns, I think, are in a better position in that regard. I think they have the better O-line, and Nick Chubb, I think, is better in that sort of circumstance. Nick Chubb and Joe Mixon, I think, are pretty darn close in terms of skill level and like who I would want on my team if I were like an NFL GM, for example. Yeah, but in a situation where you're in a rainy, bad weather and you just need to grind out tough yards, I think I'd rather have Nick Chubb in that kind of a situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what it came down to as well. I mean, the Browns' O-line was getting big pushes. The Bengals' O-line was not. I saw that the Bengals released Lyle Collins today, too. I didn't realize he was on the injured list.
They released who?
Lyle Collins.
Really?
Yeah. That was a big... Yeah. Well, I think he was on the... I don't think he was on the PUP list. I think he was on, like, the non-football injury list, something like that. But, like, yeah, they released him. So, I mean, I don't imagine he's going to stay on waivers for too long. Somebody's going to get Lyle Collins. Like, that's a
true
starting caliber tackle there.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I guess I do know why, but, like, at the same time, I'm not sure why we're just dropping him, though. Interesting.
Yeah, it seems like the Bengals had a tough time getting their offense going, which is a little bit concerning, but I mean, we've seen this. The Bengals are, I heard the statistic, 1-4 in their last 5 season openers now. And, the Bengals lose season openers and still manage to make it to the playoffs and still manage to be a big threat come late season, too. So I'm not ultra concerned about the Bengals' chances here. It does suck that they lost big in a divisional matchup, and I don't think that outlooks well. But you know who else lost? The Bills. You know who else lost? The Chiefs. So it's not like the Bengals are in the worst spot in the world. The big threats in the AFC also lost their games too. Like, I mean, statistically speaking, if you want to go by record, the teams that we said were going to be threats in the AFC, the Jets, which they did win their game, yes, but, well, I mean, obviously there was the big event that happened in the Jets game that kind of immediately diminishes the Jets' chances. And the other team I think that we thought were going to be the threats are the Jags. So right now, look at that. The Jags are atop the AFC. We'll see how long they can hold that onto.
Yeah.
Onto that.
Well, your prediction feels spot on then, because based off what's happening, the Jags definitely could just make it happen. The issue is I've been trying to set this up. It's just not working. My authenticator didn't download properly or something didn't switch over properly. Now it's just not letting me log in. I'm so annoyed.
Could you tell I was killing time and rambling?
Yeah, I could tell. But yeah, you talk very well. So I was literally just listening to you speak, and I loved it. It's almost like your profession is your profession.
Yeah, it's why they pay me the not so big bucks.
Yep, exactly. No, so the Jags are coming into fruition because, I mean, yeah, they played the Colts, and the Colts looked better than I expected as well out of this. The bigger thing that I'm looking at is, yeah, we see the Jags, but you know who's really coming to town is the Ravens. They are much better than I thought. J.K. Dobbins being down and out for the rest of the season is nothing new. It's nothing new.
I mean, I'm shocked. The Ravens are having trouble in their running back room. Crazy. Never saw that one coming.
Gus Edwards and who is it, Justice Hill?
Yeah.
I think they're fine. Justice Hill stepped in and scored twice. I think they're fine.
Yeah.
The Ravens could be a menace to society. And the Jaguars obviously are doing their thing. I'm excited to see how the rest of the AFC actually shakes out because they're looking a little bit shaky to start, but we know the Chiefs will probably recover. We know the Bengals will bounce back. Those types of teams, you know?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the games that were played and the teams that won, AFC-wise, you know, like the really scary teams in the AFC, the ones that won are like Jags,
Ravens.
Dolphins, Ravens.
That's it.
You know, that's it. Because like the other AFC teams that won, Raiders, I don't think are a big threat come playoff time. Jets, I mean, now I don't think they are.
Right.
Because of incidents, which we'll talk about.
Yes, we will get to that eventually.
And what, the Browns? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too nervous about those teams winning games. So
Exactly. So, I mean, I think the Bengals will be fine come long term. They just need to figure out their offense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think I want to go in too deep about the rest of this because, like, Texans-Ravens, I mean, we kind of touched on that. Ravens won the game. Texans are the Texans. We saw this coming, I feel like.
Yeah.
I will say, though, Bucks versus Vikings. That was...
Yes, this was actually kind of an interesting game, for sure. Baker Mayfield played out of his mind in his debut as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
If only the Vikings had a quarterback that didn't turn the ball over 3 times.
He only turned it over once. Oh, did he fumble twice?
He fumbled twice.
Yeah, I'm like, I only see one pick on here, but yeah, I do remember those fumbles, yeah.
Man, come on. Like, oh, the pick wasn't his fault. I'm like, I watched the playback to, like, maybe give him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, dude, he threw that into double coverage. Like,
yeah.
What? Dude jumped the route, don't get me wrong. But that doesn't, it still is, he threw it into double coverage. Like, gosh. I know people have a hatred. Oh, actually, I really wanted to bring this up while I'm on my I hate Kirk Cousins grind. I know you like Kirk.
I do like Kirk. I do like that.
Who's a better quarterback right now, Kirk Cousins or Jared Goff?
Jared Goff.
Okay, I'm not crazy. I definitely, like, even last season, I felt like he was a better quarterback.
I think it's arguable.
Dude, pull up both their stats from last season. Kirk Cousins threw 29 touchdowns for 14 interceptions, right? That's respectable, right? That's fine. Jared Goff threw 29 touchdowns for 7 interceptions. I think their yardage is a little
same.
off.
Yes, same amount of touchdowns and half as many picks.
Yes. I have that stat memorized now because I was in an argument about it the other day.
We're going to talk about this later in the season because we like doing our quarterback carousel episode at the end of the year. But I'm going to throw this out here now, timestamp date. I think next year's the year the Vikings finally move on.
It should have been this offseason. I think I said that to you specifically as well. It should have been this offseason. I don't know why they keep giving him money.
I got a very specific prediction about the Vikings already based on the way I see things shaking out.
I'm here.
So
I'm here for it.
Well, I'm not going to tell you it now, but I'm just telling you it's going to happen.
It's crazy, man.
The rest of the season needs to happen to confirm my theory. But here, you know what? I'm going to write this on a little orange index card right now.
Dude, and he only threw 100 less yards. 100 less yards. Dude, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous, dude. And you have Justin Jefferson. Like, oh my brain hurts. Anyway, yeah, I can't mess with Panthers Falcons. Any comments on those?
I do, but I'm writing down my hot prediction.
Oh, hold on, it's going.
9/12 at 7:50 p.m. West Coast time. Okay, I'm saving this on my desk, and I'm gonna show it when we do our quarterback carousel episode. Okay. Panthers Falcons. I mean, the Falcons definitely didn't disappoint. They showed up and they beat a young team with a young quarterback that struggled. I mean, Tyler Algier had a monster game at running back, and Bijan was probably the most exciting rookie this week for sure. So a double-headed beast at running back.
Did
The only thing that
Cordero
kind of
Patterson play or anything? He
I
exists?
don't think so. I think Cordell Patterson is their 3 running back right now.
That's upsetting.
So yeah. I mean, they didn't really give Desmond Ridder too many opportunities. He went 15 of 18 for a buck 15 and a touchdown. That touchdown going to Bijan Robinson, who went 6 for 27 yards receiving and a touchdown, and had 10 carries for 56 yards on the ground. So, monster game for the rookie. And I mean, the Panthers struggled because I think it's because they're a young team. Bryce Young had 2 picks. I remember one off the top of my head that was a really bad pick. But that's rookie quarterbacks. It's week 1. That's what they're going to do. We said this during the predictions last episode. Is rookie quarterbacks have a hard time winning football games, especially week 1. And look what happened.
Absolutely.
All 3 lost.
Exactly.
Yeah, I picked the Panthers to win, but that's more so a personal vendetta against the Falcons.
Of course.
I mean, like, I literally did pick the Falcons and changed my answer. I should be 10-6 if it wasn't for personal matters. But I'm sticking to it. I'm not picking the Falcons. I don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. And I'm not really too, hung up on it. The Falcons played really well. I don't think this is something of things to come because they played the Panthers.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's...
I mean, if the Falcons can continue this pattern, they have a pretty decent test at home against Green Bay, who had a monster week 1. I mean, if the Falcons can win this week, I think it's time to consider the Falcons as a decent threat in the NFC. Given that, I mean, the NFC South was pretty terrible. I mean, Panthers lost, Bucks won barely, and then the Saints won barely too. So it's not like the NFC South is not up for grabs, unlike some other divisions in football. It's very easy for the Falcons to possibly steal that if the Saints are continuing to not be very impressive and the Falcons can surprise.
Yeah. Doable.
All right.
Yeah, Panthers, I feel like, are supposed to be better than they are.
Yeah.
Than that. That was just really rough to watch, I'm not going to lie. What's next on the docket?
The commies and the cards in the nation's capital.
All right, this game went exactly how I expected it to.
Yeah, a couple of teams who clearly need some improvement. I think Washington is a decent team, and I think ultimately they'll be playoff contenders. I think contenders is the right word here. I said they would make the playoffs, and I think they're pretty close to being able to do that. But Arizona is arguably the worst team in the league, and you should be beating that team by 2 scores.
Right.
If you really are that good. And Washington wins by 4. So solid game, solid win, but I think Washington needs to clean some stuff up, and I think Arizona needs to clean some stuff up.
Yeah. I mean, but the Cardinals, I'm not expecting them to win football games at all. So I don't really know what they're trying to do. Commanders need to clean a little bit up, and I think specifically on their defense, because they did almost potentially lose this game. So it's like, when you look at the stats of it, okay, yeah, thanks, Jared Goff. That's not who I wanted. Hold on. I'm so sorry. Look, I'm staring at Jared Goff's face instead of week 1 stats. Here we are.
Is he just your desktop background?
Yeah, exactly. No, I went to type in ESPN, and he was the last thing I searched on ESPN, so it auto-filled.
Okay.
Yeah, so, I keep forgetting Josh Dobbs is the quarterback for the Cardinals, right?
Yeah.
The Josh Dobbs led Cardinals they were close to winning this game. They were winning up until the 4th quarter. It was 16-10. So, you can't... God, Josh Dobbs lost 2 fumbles? That's tough, bro.
Yeah, it's hard to say the Cardinals are the worst team in the league when they were winning this game and had a chance to win this game. And there are other teams in the league who played this week who, weren't even close to that kind of number.
Yeah, my problem is it's Washington. I don't think Washington's that good of a football team.
I do.
That's okay. You're allowed to think that. I just don't know how to feel about I think they have good pieces. But Sam Howell was sacked 6 times this game.
Yeah,
6.
I think
so that's gonna
Washington
be
definitely needs to clean up their O-line for sure.
I don't even think it's the O-line. I think it's his lack of decision making. He's not
Could
used
be.
to being in the offense too. So that's just me though.
Yep. All right. Jags Colts. Solid game from the Colts. Honestly, they were the most impressive team that started a rookie this week.
Yeah.
For sure. I think Anthony Richardson, he went 24 of 37, 223, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Were honestly pretty impressive. Anthony Richardson was also their leading rusher by like a lot. 10 carries, 40 yards, and a touchdown on the ground as well. Yeah, I mean, the Colts honestly were pretty impressive. I like them. I think, and they were winning this game at one point, and they were winning it pretty handily. And it just kind of slipped away in the fourth quarter. But I think you see some of the throws that Trevor Lawrence was making. You see some of the runs that Travis Etienne was having. Calvin Ridley had a monster day, 8 receptions for 101 and 1 touchdown as well. Zay Jones, 5 receptions, excuse me, for 55 yards and a touchdown too. Like the Jags just had a great day, and they particularly picked it up in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean the Jags are, I think, miles ahead, the best team in the AFC South, and objectively speaking, they are. They are the only AFC South team that won a game this week. So, all that into consideration, I don't think the Colts played bad. Maybe the Colts aren't the worst team in the AFC like I thought they were. But they definitely need to polish some stuff up.
I agree. I think there's some things that they need to look for when it comes to my train of thought just completely evaporated. When it comes to how much they want to actually run Anthony Richardson too, because it seemed like they wanted to run him a bunch, but it like some things just it didn't bounce their way, so it was awkward. So I definitely want to see them try to dial it back a little bit, let him trust his arm a little bit, because he has good receivers.
Mm-hmm.
So I want him to utilize them. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Niners Steelers. We hyped this game up. We gassed this game up so much.
I watched this game beginning to end. I really want to talk about this one.
Hit me with some knowledge.
First off, I once again have to make an apology. Brock Purdy, I was not familiar with your game. Okay. Dude,
right. We want to talk. We talk about these
the glass
like second year.
We fell off. Mm-hmm. I thought this motherfucker is gonna turn back into a freaking Mr. Irrelevant. No, I was wrong.
I know. We were talking about these year 2 quarterbacks making big leaps. We were talking about Kenny Pickett. We were talking about Sam Howell. I mean, Brock Purdy was the most impressive rookie quarterback last year, right?
Yes.
By a lot.
He's the most impressive second-year quarterback right now.
So far, yeah.
Dude,
he had a pretty decent game.
Yeah, no, you had a better than decent game. Kenny Pickett threw some really bad passes. I think the team just needs more time to gel. And the team, I mean the Steelers. The Niners were clicking. All cylinders. Mm-hmm. Everybody was good. George Kittle didn't get as much touch as I thought he was going to, but that team is clicking. So they stomped the Steelers.
Did you see what happened with Kenny Pickett, though?
No, what happened with Kenny Pickett?
There was a hit like fairly early on, like mid-first quarter that he took, and he kind of hit his head very Tua-esque.
Oh, God.
And it seemed like that's when he started making some worse decisions. So people are wondering, like, is that, should he have been taken out? Did people not notice? Whatever the situation was, did he kind of just tough it out and tell nobody? I don't want to speculate too much, but that is something that people are talking about right now all over X. Gosh, that's so dumb that we have to call it that now.
Yeah. I'm trying to get logged into mine, but, forget they no longer add phone two-factor authentication, and it's not even letting me log in on my computer either. So
can we talk about Christian McCaffrey as well? 22 carries, 152 yards, and a touchdown.
Dude, he burned off one touchdown. That was ridiculous. That one touchdown was insane.
Yeah, monster day on the ground. That might be the best thing the 49ers did was trade for him mid-season last year.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. It's pretty the best thing I think I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Phenomenal, honestly.
I
definitely want to see the Steelers click. I think they're a better team than what they showed today.
Oh, for sure.
So much for them starting 8-0, but it's okay. 7-1 still good.
Okay, Titans Saints.
Game was
Boy,
closer
the
than I expected.
Yeah, boy, the Saints did not look very good, but man, the Titans looked worse.
Yeah, this game was...
Ryan Tannehill threw 3 picks this game. Like, the Saints defense is the big difference maker in this. And we were saying, like, how honestly kind of impressive the Saints defense looked on paper, and I think they really showed just how impressive they could be. I mean, Derek Carr didn't have a terrible day, but he didn't have like an exceptional day. 23 of 33 for 305 is pretty good. 1 touchdown, 1 pick. You know, I think if the Saints really were contenders, we'd see just a little bit more pop. Like maybe hit that like 330 mark, maybe throw another touchdown or so.
Yeah.
But then again, you know, they asked Jamal Williams to carry the ball 18 times, 45 yards. Not a bad day on the ground at all. So I think it really was just like the Saints missing some small opportunities. I can immediately think of their opening kickoff. They turned the ball over on the kick return. So I think the Saints just need to kind of clean up some big mistakes, and the Titans need to diagnose some problems. I mean, Ryan Tannehill threw 3 picks. We both said at the beginning of the year he's probably on his way out of the league. But like, you can't really have a below 50% completion percentage. I wouldn't be surprised if we see one of the 2 young guys, either Malik Willis or why can't I think of the Kentucky kid's name?
Will Levis.
Will Levis, thank you. I was thinking of a different Will for some reason.
Will Byers from Stranger Things?
I was thinking of Will Greer, I think is his name.
Huh.
Who went to gosh, I know he was on the Panthers at one point.
I know you're talking about Will Greer.
And he was on the Cowboys, and then they let him play the entire preseason game after they traded for Trey Lance to try to earn a roster spot somewhere. Where did he go to college? I'm picturing it now.
Right now.
Good for him. He's probably their number 3.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
West Virginia.
He did go to West Virginia. I was picturing navy blue. I was picturing blue, but I was like, I know it's not Duke. I know it's not UNC, but I know it's like somewhere in that region. Yeah, he did go to West Virginia. Okay, but yeah, Will Levis as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw one of the 2 of them, either Malik Willis or Will Levis.
There you go.
Pretty soon here for Tennessee.
I agree. I think both of them are really good replacements for this situation. Preferably Malik Willis first. I think he deserves it more.
I think so too. I think he's got a little bit more seasoning.
That's just me. But I'm really happy that the Saints pulled out this W. It was great for Derek Carr. You can see how happy he is to be there. It was nice to see Michael Thomas participate. It was a great time.
Yep.
Great time in New Orleans.
Yeah, I was really excited to see Michael Thomas back.
That made me really happy. I'm not gonna lie. Made me very happy. All right, hit us. It's your time to shine. You okay?
I don't know. I'm somewhere in between. I didn't hate the way this game was played, and God, I fucking hate the Broncos. You know, I'm somewhere in between there. Like, okay. You know, something about this game as I was watching it felt like, gosh, same old Broncos. Here we are again. But at the same time, if you look at it statistically, we lost by 1 point, and we missed a PAT and a field goal. You know, that's 4 points we left on the board for free. If we played the game the exact same way but made those 2 kicks, Broncos win this game. Russ looked good. Only threw for 177 yards, but did have 2 touchdowns, 27 of 34, so he looked pretty clean. He just wasn't quite stretching the field as much, which is fine because, I mean, the Broncos' defense played pretty well. It's just, I think the offense needs to be getting more opportunities. It doesn't help that the Broncos tried that onside kick and were maybe about like 1/8 of an inch away from actually pulling it off to start the game.
Right. Sean Payton was having Super Bowl flashbacks.
Yeah, I mean, and then you give the Raiders a short field and they go down and score. You know, it is what it is. I like the risk, but at the same time, I think I'd like the risk a little bit more if it worked. And it didn't, so it makes me mad right now. I don't know. I hate losing. I hate losing to the Raiders even more. I hate losing to the Raiders even more in Denver. Like, that does
hurt.
And like, I think the Broncos, if they really wanted to make a playoff push late, honestly needed to win this game. So let's shoot for 500. I think they did. I mean, the AFC is pretty freaking crazy. This is one of their only home games against the division opponent who I think on paper they are better than them. Like this was the game they needed to win. Let's shoot for above 500 for right now, I think. Let's start there. Get some
Yeah,
optimism back
I
in this
get you.
franchise.
Let's try to get some wins on the board. I mean, my thing is, even if you're shooting for 500, you guys have winnable games. So many winnable games. You guys play the Commanders this coming week. You guys play. I mean, the Dolphins are Dolphins, and it's on the road. You play the Bears after that, though. The Jets may be more winnable now because of what's going on, and then you got to play the Chiefs. So
Yeah, I know the
The
tail end of
Packers
the
at home isn't
the
so bad.
tail end of the Broncos' schedule is not great. Like week 14 plus, in LA against the Chargers, in Detroit against the Lions, home against New England against on Sunday Night Football, at home against the Chargers,
oh wait,
and then
hold on. You
in
guys' schedule's
Vegas.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not.
It's because you guys
I
have
think
to play the Chiefs and the Chargers twice, though.
Chiefs twice, Chargers twice. We have to play the Jets this year, which hopefully that's a little bit better for us now.
It's week 5, so who knows if they actually have their stuff together.
Yeah. We got to play the Bills in Buffalo on a Monday night game. We got to play the Vikings in Denver on a Sunday night game. We play at home against Cleveland. The Broncos should have a decently easy schedule, but right now I don't trust them. So I think they need to win some games and they need to show some growth at least.
Yeah, I think beating the Commanders next week is going to be essential. If you guys magically beat the Dolphins in Miami, that'd be crazy. And I think you guys can beat the Bears in Chicago. So
I think they're pretty winnable. I think I think if the Broncos really wanted to make a decent push, they needed to come out of the first 4 weeks 3-1. And they have a tough game against the Dolphins and already blew their one loss.
technically,
So-
it's still doable.
It's still doable, but I think they
Unlikely,
needed
but
this
doable.
win. Yeah, I think they needed to beat the Raiders and they didn't. All right, tell me about
I
the
agree.
Birds though.
The Birds?
Started hot.
Birds are the word. We did start hot. We were up 16-0. Darius Slay got a pick 6 to open the season. They had 2 plays and 2 turnovers. So it's pretty cool. It was very awesome. Loved seeing that. And then the other big thing with that is the New England Patriots low key showed up. They played very well.
Oh, yeah.
The defense was phenomenal. The only thing I had an issue with all game was I just really didn't like the fact that we were very lax. We went up 16-0, and then we forgot how to play football all of a sudden. We didn't play call. We went 5 straight 3-and-outs. Like, let them climb back into the game. You can't do that against Bill Belichick. Sorry.
Oh no way, not with his defense.
No, just not doable. And we came out of that game a little injured. Kobe Dean will be out for 4 weeks minimum. He's on the IR. And we're gonna have potentially no Bradbury for TNF because he's in concussion protocol. Some rough things there, especially on a short week. So, getting banged up in that game, it could have been much easier, but we ran Kenneth Gainwell 30 times for some reason. We ran him a lot. Like, he touched the ball so many times, and I love Kenny Gainwell. I have no issues with Kenny Gainwell. Why did we run him so many times? And, Swift got 1 carry all game.
Yeah.
What was the reason? I'm confused. I just need to know why we did it. So I hope we learn that there's more players on the team besides Kenneth Gainwell. That's all. I think we ran him 14 times. I'm exaggerating, but it felt like way more.
Yeah.
He touched the ball 18 total times. I don't know.
Yeah.
Could have been.
Mac Jones had 3 touchdowns. That's pretty
No,
impressive.
he was cooking. Dude was cooking, but he had to throw the ball 54 times. Just saying. He was cooking. My issue is Jalen Hurts he didn't throw the ball a lot. He threw the ball 33 times. It felt like he didn't even throw that many times. He completed 22 of them. He was under pressure so much. He got sacked 3 times. However, he was rushed and hurried and was forced to make uncomfortable throws a lot. So the Patriots did a phenomenal job against him. Zeke, man, I know what his stats say. he looked better than what his stats say. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
It was very fun to watch Ezekiel Elliott play football for a team that wasn't a team that I hate. It was nice. It's very rewarding. Other than that, though, yeah, Eagles just need to get their play calling in check. That's what happens when you have 2 new coordinators. Call it a day.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. That team obviously is still talented. They won the game on the road in a rainy New England. We were good.
Let's talk about a different bird. How about the Seahawks? Who, I will say, speaking of the birds, I don't know if you saw this earlier, signed Jason Peters.
Did they actually? Why?
Yeah, he signed with the Seahawks today.
Why?
Because they lost 30-13 and need some pretty bad O-line help.
Go home. I love you, Jason Peters, but go
can we
home,
have
buddy.
Can we have this conversation? The Cowboys are probably better than I gave them credit for.
Yes.
Can we talk about the Rams real quick?
Yeah, I was, gonna say that they were definitely better than I gave them credit for.
3 touchdowns on the ground, on top of 2 receivers going over 100 yards receiving, and Cooper
I don't even know who
hurt.
those guys are.
Puka Nakua, I don't know who that is. I think he's new this year.
He's a rookie.
He's a rookie, yeah. And then Tutu Atwell, I've heard.
I know
his
who
name
Tutu
before.
Atwell is. But
Yeah.
what the heck are those names?
2 receivers that go over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns on the ground, on top of, and there were some carries on the ground, not just from Cam Akers, but from Kyron Williams, too. The Rams defense looked really impressive, too. They held Geno Smith to only 112 yards. They held Kenneth Walker to only 64 yards. I think once they got out of the first half, the Rams really started to show up. There was that really kind of go-ahead touchdown that Geno threw to DK Metcalf early. Mm-hmm. But, once the Rams got past that, the Rams were rolling.
The Seattle Seahawks didn't
on the
score
road in
half,
Seattle, too.
They didn't score in the second half.
Exactly. So, yeah, I'll concede that the Cowboys are much better than I gave them credit for.
I am willing to tell you that the Rams looked good. The issue is, and my primary issue I had with this game was that the reasoning for why you thought they were going to be better was because Aaron Donald and Cooper Kupp were going to come back, and neither of them played football in this game.
Yeah, that's pretty ironic. Yeah,
that hurt my head. And I saw that, I was like, dude, Seahawks, how did you butcher this? What did you do? Mm-hmm. Who were you playing against? How did you let Puka and Tutu go against you for 119 targets apiece? Come on, bro. What are those names? Yeah, Rams.
Okay.
Listen, y'all look good. Listen, I hope y'all can keep it up. That's all I'm gonna say. This game was game of the week, I think.
Dolphins Chargers by far.
Potentially
was game of the week.
Yeah, okay.
Not even potentially. This was the game of the week. This is a crazy good game. Dolphins escape with the win in Los Angeles, 36-34. Tua goes 28-45 for 466 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. Raheem Mostert has 10 carries, 37 yards, and a touchdown on the ground. 2 monster touchdowns to Tyreek Hill, who had 11 catches for 215 yards. The Dolphins' offense was rolling, and Tua had a very impressive day on offense. And the Chargers had a pretty impressive day on offense, too. They had 3 touchdowns on the ground on top of 1 in the air from my boy Herbie, fully loaded. And, this really was a game of inches. It was a very close, very good game. I want to say the lead changed 5 to 6 times throughout this game.
It did. It changed a whole bunch. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, crazy good game. I think both these teams are better than I think you and I gave them credit for. I had Dolphins barely squeaking into the playoffs and Chargers being one of the first teams out. But, the way that we saw other teams in their divisions play this week, Dolphins and Chargers could be threats.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Dolphins are 1-0 and the Jets are 1-0 because somebody had to win between the Jets and the Bills. But if you consider the fact that the Jets lost this week too, in a way, the Dolphins are in a great position. And for the Chargers, yes, you lost this game, but so did the Broncos, so did the Chiefs. The only team that won a game this week in their division is the Raiders, which are very beatable.
Yeah.
So, who knows? Maybe we might see the Dolphins and the Chargers make some big pushes.
Yeah, I agree. I think both of these teams could be better than anticipated, or they're around the same place that we think they are, and they just played each other. Because they had around similar records for both of us. So.
Yep.
All right. This is the game that shocked me the most. I'm not going to lie to you.
Packers win on the road in Soldier Field, 38-20 against the Bears. I think we kind of wrote off the Packers because Aaron Rodgers wasn't there anymore. But Jordan Love had a very impressive day. 245 yards and 3 touchdowns on only 15 completions.
That's crazy.
Is not bad.
That's insane.
2 touchdowns to my boy Romeo as well, worth noting.
Yeah, I knew you were going to be really excited about that after seeing that.
I was thrilled when the first one happened, and then I'm like, 2?
He has
How about 2 for my boy? Yeah, how about 2 for my boy Romeo?
You know what the issue is? You know what the
What's
issue
the
was
issue?
with this game and why the Bears found little success? I mean, their defense
Tell me
was
about it.
atrocious, but I want you to look very closely at the receiving for the Chicago Bears. And can you inform me of one thing that's wrong there?
DJ Moore only has 2 catches for 25 yards.
That's not exactly what the wrong part of that is.
Chase Claypool has no touches.
I don't give a fuck about Chase Claypool. DJ Moore only had 2 targets.
Oh, I can't even see targets.
Well, okay.
Okay. Yeah. I'm looking at a different. I'm looking at just Google. You're probably looking at ESPN.
I am looking at ESPN. He only got 2 targets.
Yeah.
I knew that. He got less targets than Khalil Herbert in receiving.
Interesting.
He got less targets than Rashawn Johnson. I don't even know who the fuck that is.
He's a rookie.
Exactly.
He's a running back as well.
He got less targets in the receiving than Deontay Foreman. Why?
Yeah, that's kind of
Throw
a big
the ball to
issue
DJ
for sure.
Moore.
I would agree. That's kind of a big thing to do.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
However, Soldier Field was at 100% capacity. Actually, they were above capacity. Their capacity is 61,500 people. 62,456 people showed up.
Really? It's pretty neat. That's pretty... I mean, that's optimistic for the Bears. Like, that's got to feel good at least. And I don't think... maybe the Bears aren't ready to take the leap yet, but I think the Bears will be more improved than they were last year.
They're not going to win
Bears were
3
the
games.
worst team-
They're going to win more
Yeah,
than 3
they're going to
games.
win more than 3 games.
I think they have the opportunity to win more than 3 games. There's a lot that
I think
goes
they're on the
with that.
upswing.
Yeah, exactly. If they can figure out their I'm going to say this exactly like I really want them to. I know that you guys don't have that great of an O-line, but I need you guys to look up the Eagles formula when we cut everyone. Everyone and their mother got cut. We were basically building the team back from the ground up, and we were like, yo, we have Jalen Hurts, we have like Devontae Smith, and we have a dream. Basically what the team was at that point. We had a great O-line, don't get me wrong. And we actually were healthy that season. My thing is you have to use that formula because Devontae Smith was able to get catches because you were throwing him the football 10 times a game. Because we didn't have other receivers. Our second receiver was Jalen Reagor. You have Darnell
World
Mooney.
famous receiver Jalen Reagor.
You guys have Darnell Mooney. At least he could catch the ball. He had your only touchdown in the air. You guys have good running backs. Khalil Herbert is not bad. Deontay Foreman is solid. Cole Kmet, that's literally Dallas Goedert 2.0. He's good. Use them, bro. What are we doing? You guys even have Mercedes Lewis if you really want to get zesty with it. Just do something. Throw them the ball. Like, there should be no reason why your running backs have a combined 15 targets and your receivers have a combined... Hold on, I can't do math this fast. 11 targets from your receivers. Why are we just throwing screens all day? Throw screens to DJ Moore. God, bro. You guys were at home and you embarrassed the hell out of yourselves. You guys had an opportunity to win. You were down 10-6 at halftime. 10-6. You had an opportunity to not embarrass yourselves and you embarrassed yourselves. Disgrace. City of Chicago was upset that day. We were all upset Monday morning. I'm not even a fan of them. I was upset Monday morning.
I think I would be too.
God, bro. But you know what they weren't upset about?
Upset?
Yeah. We were thinking the same segue.
At least they're not the Giants.
At least they're not the Giants. At least they put up points. They may have got dunked 40 on, but they put up 20 points. The Giants got put 40 on them and didn't put up a single point. They even were so bad that Gano missed his field goal attempt. Like,
Yeah. He missed 2 field goals.
He missed 2?
He missed one and had one blocked, I think.
Oh, he did have one blocked at the beginning of the game. He missed the second one, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Trash, bro. I have nothing to say about this. Dak didn't even look phenomenal. His defense looked... his defense stepped up and did their job.
They didn't have to use Dak. They defense stepped up. Their ground attack was crazy good.
Tony Pollard looked great. It was great. Good day. Good day if you're this. Good day if you're in Dallas, that's for sure.
Yep.
I have nothing else to say about it.
Okay. And then that takes us to Monday night, our only overtime game this week, by the way.
Yeah, which is really
Monday
cool.
Night Football. Jets come out 22-16, even after losing Aaron Rodgers.
Oh
after
my gosh.
4 plays, 75 seconds, and that was Aaron Rodgers' season as a Jet. I mean,
potentially
I'm sure
his career, dude.
I'm sure you've seen the video.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's a rough injury. That reminds me, wasn't it KD that happened to as well?
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
I
the
remember
same way.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
and his is easier to see because he's not wearing anything on his legs.
Yeah, I mean that's a season ender, and
that might be a career ender.
It could be a career ender for Aaron Rodgers, and that's really tragic that that's how it goes out.
Yeah, I mean, and he looked like he was gonna have a really good opportunity with the Jets, and seeing what they did with Zach Wilson at quarterback, like.
Yeah.
Dude,
I mean,
while we're on the subject of this game specifically, though, outside of Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen looked bad.
He did. 3
Whitehead
picks,
looked
not
great.
good.
Yeah, all of them went to Whitehead, by the way. He got all 3 of them. And he almost threw another one. Like, I think Whitehead dropped a pick, by the way.
I mean, let's just say that the Madden curse is putting in, no pun intended, overtime so far.
Yeah, 3 picks. My thing is though they were so forced. Like there were at least 2 of them. One of them was like, okay, Whitehead made a good play, but the other 2 were like, Josh Allen, why are you throwing this football? Like he just yeeted it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, fuck it, Gabe Davis down there somewhere. Oh shit, that's a green jersey, not a blue one. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I believe Josh Allen is now 0-5 in overtime games.
He is. He's never won an OT game ever in his career, including playoffs.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, Jets' ground attack, honestly, and their defense is what saved their game. Breece Hall had 10 carries for 127 yards. Dalvin Cook, 13 carries for 33 yards. Like, their ground attack was pretty good. Honestly, the Bills had no reason to lose this game, especially with Aaron going out so early. And here we are. Jets are 1-0. So,
yeah,
I think the AFC East is going to be very interesting this year because if this pattern continues, Dolphins are the best team in the East. Bills didn't look great. Why are the Patriots kind of the second best team in the East right now? If this pattern continues,
I actually would still think the Jets are better. Honestly, as much as we don't trust Zach Wilson, the rest of this roster looks really good.
Yeah, I mean the Jets roster is stacked, but because they came here to play with Aaron, and they're kind of stuck now.
I think they're gonna want to salvage the season. I think they want to make the playoffs. They want to do these things. I truly think Zach Wilson can take them there.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of I'm gonna call them more so meme predictions for who the Jets bring in to play quarterback. Like Tom Brady is one of the favorite ones I've seen.
Kaepernick.
I've seen Colin Kaepernick. One of my favorite ones that I saw, somebody with a Panthers logo for their profile picture said, Jets receive Andy Dalton, Panthers receive Garrett Wilson, Quinn, and Williams, Sauce Gardner. Who says no?
That was pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, Jets losing Aaron Rodgers early this season is devastating for them. So, we'll see how it shakes out in the East.
Yeah, we just got to see how it plays out. But it's only week 1. You don't know what to expect from Zach Wilson. Maybe he grew under all this knowledge, but now he has literally sitting there on the sideline. He's going to have Aaron Rodgers in his ear every game.
Who knows?
You remember there was another quarterback that wasn't supposed to be starting right away. Wasn't supposed to be back in full force. And had a veteran quarterback in his ear the whole time because he no longer played. Do you remember what quarterback that was? It's a tough one.
You're gonna have to remind me.
This was Dak Prescott when Tony Romo went down. Dak
Okay.
Prescott got to plug
I
in.
see what you're going for, yeah.
Dak Prescott played his best football that rookie year because Tony Romo was in his ear all year.
That's fair. I was thinking, like, are you talking about, like, Mahomes?
Not even Mahomes. Mahomes didn't have.
Yeah.
He had
But
Andy
yeah,
Reid.
I guess he didn't. Yeah, he had Andy Reid. That was his QB whisperer. He didn't have Smith.
Yeah, and Smith was great for him, but it gave Mahomes time to adjust and to the league and get training in and all this stuff. And now Mahomes is the GOAT. So it's like, this is really, really. I think this is potential for the Jets. I think they still have the potential to actually win games. This was a one they had to win. I think winning at home against a division rival was very important. I think the real test this coming week against the Cowboys is going to be really crazy. And then they got the Patriots, and we all know what Bill Belichick can do. So I'm intrigued to see how these next 2 weeks play.
But they got the Patriots in MetLife. To be fair,
True, but it's still Bill Belichick, and then they have the Chiefs right after. So these first 4 weeks are no joke for them.
Do I know what's kind of crazy though? Is that this happened in MetLife Stadium, which is notorious.
That's a lot of players are coming
For
out and
causing
complaining about the
injury.
turf. A lot of players are still coming out. They're like, why
I mean,
haven't we changed the
I
turf?
remember. Oh my gosh, what was it? A couple years ago, I think it was the 49ers had back-to-back games because they played like the Jets and then the Giants or something like that in MetLife both times. And I think they came out with like so many injuries, and that's when people started to notice, like, God damn, we need to worry about this. Yeah, so I think there's a cry out to get rid of artificial turf because it does stuff like this.
Yeah, I agree. And I understand completely why they want to do it. Okay.
All right, are we ready for some week 2 Preds?
Yeah, I'm so ready for week 2 Preds.
Okay, we begin Thursday night football. Our first true Thursday night football on everybody's favorite Amazon Prime.
We do love Amazon Prime.
Featuring a weird redux. Because for the second year in a row,
On the same week,
on the same week,
on the same night.
on the same night,
Wild.
we got the Vikings in Philadelphia.
Same place too.
So Vikings at Eagles. Eagles, right? Duh.
Can I say I'm never picking the Vikings because it's always fuck Kirk Cousins season. However, I'm going to pick the Eagles, but this feels like a trap game. I don't know why.
Okay, I was gonna say, did you have a reasoning?
I don't have a reason. After what happened week 1, to be fair, same shit happened last season, where we went week 1, we won by 3 on the road against Detroit, and then we came back and told the Vikings to hold our nuts, and then realized we were them. So hopefully that happens again. Same situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Eagles are still the best team in the NFC, regardless of what happened week 1. You know, yeah, sure, the Cowboys won by 40, but
That don't matter.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
that
the
could
Giants.
easily be a fluke. You know, I want to see consistency, exactly. And the other thing we got to consider, and I hate that we have to consider this every time, but it's a primetime game.
Yes.
It's annoying to me
feel
that we
it.
got to do that every single time, but it is
Feel
a
my hatred
primetime
more.
game, which beats the, yeah, I guess Kirk Cousins is playing in primetime, and that typically doesn't bode well for him.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm going Birds. Speaking of birds, does anybody have the bird gauntlet this year?
Oh, you know what? Didn't I don't know. Bird Gauntlet 2023. Any team have a in 2023, an FC may have a chance at the gauntlet if the Jaguars, Lions, and Panthers will end up in the same position. Oh, this is a prediction.
Saints have a chance. That was last year.
Saints had a chance to do it last year. They definitely didn't do it. I don't think anyone has the opportunity to do the Bird Gauntlet this year.
Tragic.
Love seeing the Bird Gauntlet every chance I can. The Commanders have a chance? Hold on. The Commanders played the Cardinals. They play us, for sure. They play the Falcons? I feel like the Falcons finish in the same spot.
The hard one is always the Ravens, because you got four bird teams in the NFC and then the Ravens.
Yeah.
So it's always the hard one's always like you got to play the Ravens at some point, and you got to beat the Ravens at some point, on top of beating the Eagles, the Cardinals, and the Falcons and the Seahawks.
So Commanders play us. Obviously, they played the Cardinals week 1.
So it's never going to be an AFC team. It's always going to be an NFC team that has a chance at it.
I mean, technically it can be an AFC team. It just has to be a crazy situation.
I don't think it can because of the way the schedule works.
True, you might be right.
Because you'd have to play.
Oh, because we are spread out, huh? Because the Eagles are in the East.
I guess it is technically possible, and here's the only way situation. Is the AFC team would have to play the West that year so that you could potentially beat the Seahawks and Cardinals. Their schedule has to match up perfectly that they would play either the Eagles or the Falcons, and then they'd have to beat the other one in the Super Bowl and play the Ravens.
They play the Falcons. Wait, they play the Cardinals week 1. They beat the Cardinals already. They play us week 4. They play the Falcons week 6. Hold on. What are the other? We need the Ravens. We need the
Ravens and the Seahawks.
That's it, right? Just Ravens and Seahawks?
Commanders do play the Seahawks.
Where do they play the Seahawks?
Week 10.
They play them week 10. Okay.
But I don't think the Commanders play the Ravens.
Oh, that's so frustrating. They were so close.
Commanders play the Jets. They're kind of like a bird.
That's a bird.
It's a bird. It's bird enough.
Bird adjacent. Yeah, they really don't play them. Tough, man.
Yeah.
Cardinals play the Rams. Yeah, I that's the only team. Maybe the Niners. Hold on, did the Niners do it? The Niners play the Ravens.
Okay.
Hold on.
They play the Seahawks. They play the Cardinals
us.
for sure.
They play us. I know they play us. Who are we missing?
Did the Niners play the Falcons?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so. No, they don't.
Dang it, man. I just looked at it, and they play them week 16. The Niners play the Ravens. Yeah, so no one. Everyone's like a team off. Tough.
Tragic.
Hate to see it.
Okay.
R.I.P. Bird Gauntlet.
Speaking of birds, we're taking the Eagles. Speaking of birds, Sunday morning.
Wow. Speaking of birds, we literally get 3 bird teams.
Yeah. Ravens at Bengals to start.
This is a tough one.
This is a really tough one because you got the Ravens coming off a big win against Houston. You got the Bengals coming off against a big loss against Cleveland, but it's in Cincinnati. A huge divisional matchup, and it's another back-to-back one for the Bengals. I have a hard time believing that the Bengals lose 2 in a row. I think the Bengals clean some stuff up. I'm going to go with the Bengals to squeak out a win here.
I also picked the Bengals, but I mostly am not talking about them losing back-to-back. They're pissed. Mm-hmm. They're super mad after that Browns win. Dude, T. Higgins got like 8 targets without a catch.
Yeah.
They salty. Joey B gonna come out and sauce everybody. I'm telling you. Ravens are in trouble. It should be a high-scoring game, though. I'm really excited for it.
I am too. Okay, another bird. This one against a cat. Oh, actually, wait a minute. It's another bird against another cat.
Wait just a moment.
In the cat's den.
Wait, have we done the cat gauntlet? Is that a thing?
I saw it just now. So what would be the cat gauntlet? Bengals,
Panthers,
Lions,
Jags,
Panthers,
Lions, Bengals.
Jaguars.
That's for sure the cat.
There's only four cat teams.
There's only 4 cat teams. It's a little less than the bear gauntlet.
Fifth?
Positive.
It'd be the bird gauntlet, by the way. You said the bear gauntlet.
Did I say the bear gauntlet?
Yeah.
I was staring at the bears. My bad. The bird gauntlet. And it's not as cool as the bird gauntlet. And I feel like you could even add the Jets to the bird gauntlet if you want to get zesty. Yeah, there's only the 4. But it's still cool.
Yeah, it's still pretty neat. Anyways, Seahawks in Detroit. Detroit has the long week, and they're at home against the Seahawks, who lost pretty big to the Rams. I'm going to go Detroit.
I also am going Detroit, but, you know, that's you said exactly what I was going to say. Long week. Seattle's coming off a rough loss, but they're on the road now in Detroit, and Lions are coming off one of their best wins in a long, long time. So
Yeah, probably since I've been alive.
right, we've always had the joke of, don't you guys have to be losing a game right about now?
Yeah, Lions are losing a game right now.
Yeah, not no more.
Not this year.
2-0 potential start. Looks good.
All right,
Colts at Texans.
AFC South division matchup, neither of which are birds nor bears
Nope.
or cats.
Nothing. Just
Colts are horses.
horses.
We got the horse gauntlet. Can anybody beat the Colts and the Broncos? I'm sure a lot of people can. What's interesting is we're guaranteed to see one of our two rookie quarterbacks win a game.
True. It's gonna be one
Either
of them.
Anthony Richardson, Colts will win, or CJ Stroud, Texans will win.
Yes. Guaranteed.
Based what I saw in week 1, I think the Colts are a much stronger team overall. So I'm going to go with Indy to win on the road.
Same. I think they're a stronger team. The Texans could clean some stuff up and actually do some things, but I really liked what the Colts did against the Jags, and I think they continue this momentum and do exactly what they did and win this one because the Texans aren't the Jags.
Okay.
Bears at Bucks.
At Bucks. One of those teams is a bear.
Yes.
Neither of those teams is a bird or a cat.
Correct. One of those teams could own a cat, though.
Yeah, one of those teams is just a dude.
Yeah, it's just a dude. What
Does
about the
anybody do
dude gauntlet?
the dude gauntlet? So what would that be? The Texans, the Buccaneers,
Are the Chiefs,
Chiefs.
just dudes? Okay.
the 49ers.
Okay.
I have
Giants?
a hard time spinning Giants because that's just not a dude. That's a
Patriots?
it's a giant. Patriots a dude. Saints are a dude.
Saints. Can't do the Browns for the opposite reason that we have the Giants.
Browns are in the dog.
I thought they were
the
elves.
dog gauntlet. I don't know what the Browns are.
The Browns are the Browns. bro.
The Browns are the color
What are
gauntlet.
Packers?
Packers are. I mean, it was named after a packing company. That's why they called them the Packers. Like
So
the
they're just
cheese,
a
it's because
group of dudes.
like the cheese heads and stuff like that is because the Packers were named after a cheese packing company.
So it's a group of dudes.
So you could argue it's a group of dudes. The Cowboys, group of dudes.
That is a group of dudes.
Yeah.
That's a lot of dudes. Dude Gauntlet would be crazy. Titans is the same Giants format.
Yeah, Titans and Giants are a little too mythical to consider just dudes.
What about the mythical gauntlet? Can we get that going?
So what would it be?
The Titans?
Titans and Giants.
Browns, I feel like, are adjacent there.
If you consider them as the elves, sure.
Yes, absolutely.
I was like, Browns are just
The
dogs,
mythical.
dude.
There has to be something else I'm missing here. There was another.
I mean, I think you could make an argument for Saints.
I was going to say, they could be mythical.
You could. I think it's an argument for Saints.
There you go. There's your mythical gauntlet.
Chargers?
Cowboys,
know.
if you count their
I feel
Super
like
Bowl hopes. Mythical
And
gauntlet.
they are pretty mythical, yeah. Anyways, Bears at Bucks. This is an interesting game because you got two teams who on paper shouldn't be very good, but I think we have some different notions this year, and especially we have some different notions after week 1. I'm going to go with Chicago on the road.
Oh, I picked Tampa Bay this week.
Yeah, I got a feeling about Chicago on the road.
I think Chicago on the road is valid. My thing is that I think Baker Mayfield pop off, and if you did that to the Vikings defense, I feel like you're going to do that to Chicago defense. And you're home this time. You're not even on the road. You get to be at home.
What about the random animals?
Random animals, so like bears?
Like the animals, yeah, like the animals that don't have anything else going on, like the Bills, the Rams, the Dolphins.
And the Bears?
And we'll throw in the Bears.
Oh, that's a gauntlet. That's actually a wild gauntlet.
Wait, Vikings are just a bunch of dudes too.
Oh shoot, yeah. What about the Vikings?
We got just.
Wait, what about the bunch of dude gauntlets? The Packers, the Vikings, the Cowboys.
We're gonna have to organize.
We can make the Giants and the Titans an argument here, okay?
Yeah.
The Raiders. That's just a bunch of dudes. Saints. It's just a bunch of dudes. Buccaneers. That's just a bunch of dudes. Like, it's a lot of, we don't even need the Titans and Giants anymore.
We could even separate it by bunch of dudes and single dudes. Like the Chiefs, there's probably only one chief, you know.
Yeah, but it's plural, so it
like,
has to be a bunch of Chiefs.
Well, it's because they're all plural.
True. It's true.
You know, like, I doubt there's more than one giant in a realistic situation.
True. True.
Okay.
You know what?
We got Chiefs at Jags. We got some dudes at some cats.
Got some dudes and some cats.
This is a tough game to call, honestly.
Chiefs are coming off a very upsetting L.
But they are coming off a long week.
That too, and we should have Travis Kelce back.
And it's in Jacksonville, though.
I honestly am picking the Jags to win this game.
I'm gonna go with KC to bounce back.
No way
They
KC
got the long
loses
week.
2 in a row, right?
They got. I'm gonna go with KC. They got the long week. They got Chris Jones. They got hopefully Travis Kelce. Yeah, I'm gonna go with KC.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Jags. I'm gonna take the Jags.
Okay. All right, we got some dudes. We got some birds.
We got some dudes. We got some birds, and the dudes are better than the birds. So I'm gonna go Packers.
Packers at Falcons. I don't pick the Falcons, so Packers.
I truly think Packers on the road twice feels weird, but hey, good for them, dude.
Yeah.
Raiders at Bills. Bunch of dudes versus a bunch of
Random
things.
animals. The random animal gauntlet.
Yeah. I think the Bills have a phenomenal bounce back week, especially since they're home. I think it's going to be a phenomenal game. I think the Raiders defense is going to do well, but I think Buffalo's offense is going to bounce back. I think Josh Allen's going to throw like 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, Buffalo. I mean, lights might have been a little bit too bright on a Monday night game, so let's give them a 10 a.m. game in the middle of the week against a lackluster team in the Raiders. Give me Buffalo.
Yep. Chargers at Titans. Where do the Chargers fall in it? They're the only team we haven't participated in a gauntlet here.
Because they're bolts of electricity. That's the
Can they
object
count
gauntlet.
as the? Can they be in the mythical gauntlet like as Zeus
that's
instead?
what I was trying to make.
Okay, can they be Zeus's lightning bolt?
Yeah. Maybe we'll see.
There you go.
We're gonna have to make our own divisions
Yeah.
in football. We get 4 that we can do.
There you go.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. All right. Chargers at Titans.
Yep.
Chargers coming off a pretty close loss at
They
home.
played really well.
Titans coming off a pretty close loss on the road.
Well, they didn't play as well.
And this game is in Nashville,
Yep.
but I'm more optimistic about LA right now, so give me the Chargers.
I'm in agreement. I picked the Chargers. I like how we went from last week where we had like 7 different ones, and this week we're like, yeah, everything's the same, and then we just have Chiefs Jaguars different, which I feel like is valid.
Bears Bucks?
Oh, we did pick Bears Bucks differently. That one also feels valid though.
Yeah. All right. Niners Rams.
Game is crazier now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy cooking though. I'm taking the 49ers. He's cooking.
Yeah. Give me the Niners on the road. Niners are hot right now.
Yeah, dude. Brock
They're
Purdy,
on
Chris
the road.
McCaffrey cooking, dude.
Yeah. Give me the Niners.
They're cooking. Giants at Cards.
Man.
I don't think this is as close as I feel like I want. I can't trust the Cardinals yet. They just played the Commanders. Now they're just going to just play the Giants.
I'm going to take a little bit of a risk and take the Cardinals.
I'm going to take
I will admit, Cardinals, I think it's a risky pick. Mm-hmm. I will admit that. But I'm going to go with the Cardinals.
Yeah, it's valid. I think it's okay.
Okay. Jets at Cowboys.
This is a crazy game.
I agree.
Still crazy, even if I don't care who's playing quarterback right now. It could be me at quarterback, and it'd be a crazy matchup.
Yeah, it's something to consider that the Jets roster overall is pretty nuts.
It's insane.
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys though.
I picked the Cowboys too. I think their roster is a little more insane. Defense is ridiculous.
Okay, last of our Sunday afternoon games: Commanders at Broncos. I hope the Broncos have a bounce back game for my sake. So I'm gonna pick the Broncos.
I picked the Broncos because I think they're gonna have a bounce back game. They only lost the Raiders by 1 point, and the Commanders played the Cardinals, so I trust nothing from the Commanders yet.
Yeah. Okay. Sunday night football. We got a pretty good one. This is a classic matchup that I personally loved as long as I've been watching football, because Dolphins Patriots is always a wild experience. So Dolphins at Patriots in Foxborough. I'm going to go with the Dolphins on the road.
I picked the Dolphins on the road as well. I definitely think that I think if you throw the ball more on the Patriots, they don't know what to do. And the Eagles didn't capitalize on that, so they screwed themselves. However, the Dolphins don't care. They will throw the ball.
All right, Monday night. We got a doubleheader Monday. I like when they do these. They always do them like week 1, week 2, week 3-ish. But we got an NFC South matchup. New Orleans Saints at Carolina Panthers. Honestly, I thought this is a pretty tough game to call. But I'm going to go with the Saints on the road.
I think so too. I don't actually think it's that tough to call. I think the Saints are just a better team overall.
Mm-hmm.
Personally speaking, I think they just look better. I think they'll be cleaner. The Panthers looked really rough, and they played who? I've already forgotten. The Falcons. So it's like
Falcons.
I'm gonna go Saints.
Okay, and then our late game on Monday night doubleheader, an AFC North matchup: Browns at Steelers.
Oh, you know what? Maybe we played the Vikings on Monday Night Football last year in week 2, in the doubleheader. Now I'm thinking about it, because it was a blowout day. Because it was like Bills versus someone. It was like Bills versus Dolphins, and Tua died, and then it was us versus Vikings. I just thought about it. Anyway, I lied to you all earlier. Browns versus Steelers.
I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh.
Yay, same.
Okay, so we only got 2 different this week.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Steelers I think have a bounce back game. I don't think the Browns are as great, and they're also not home. So,
Yep, it's in Pittsburgh. I think is what matters a lot. Okay, so you want to run through down yours real quick?
I absolutely would love to. I have the Eagles, the Bengals, the Lions, the Colts, the Buccaneers, the Jaguars, the Packers, the Bills, Chargers, Niners, Giants, Cowboys, Broncos, Dolphins, Saints, and Steelers.
I got the Eagles, Bengals, Lions, Colts, Bears, Chiefs, Packers, Bills, Chargers, 49ers, Cardinals, Cowboys, Broncos, Dolphins, Saints, Steelers.
We had 3. So you picked the Cardinals, I picked the Giants. You picked the Chiefs, I picked the Giants.
That's
you picked
right.
the
We
Bears,
did
you
have that
picked
one
the
different.
Browns.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot about Cardinals.
3 different. All right.
Not bad.
Here's your daily segment. I'm heading into FanDuel right now. Not sponsored, by the way. I got my new iPhone 14 locked and loaded. Just logging in real quick if it lets me log in.
Was that like the first thing you did was set up FanDuel?
Actually, just now. No, I did not. It's not one of the first things I actually did, though. Does FanDuel not want me to log in? Does it not want me to bet?
Davion, you have a problem.
I mean, I knew that, but that's...
We been new.
Okay, I see the issue now. Hold on. Hold on.
Holding on.
That's definitely my password. The issue is it for some reason doesn't have my email saved. It has a username, and I don't know why. Yeah, there it goes. There it goes. We're authenticated. I'm in.
Your hacker voice, I'm in.
All right, heading to NFL betting. More NFL games. I picked the Eagles. I picked the Packers. I picked the Buccaneers. I picked the Lions. I picked the Bills. I picked the Chargers. I picked the Bengals. I picked the Colts. I picked the Jags. I picked the Niners. I picked the Giants. I picked the Cowboys. I picked the Broncos. I picked the Dolphins, the Saints, the Steelers, the Niners. Wait. It's a whole new week. Never mind. 16. Okay. $1. Wow. Wow, my wager is not as... Oh, wait, no. Holy what? Oh, that's $10. Okay, I was going to lose my mind. $1 would win. Not as good as week 1, by the way. My bets. Maybe because I'm picking a lot of the better teams that we think are going to win. So, or that FanDuel thinks is just going to win. It's whatever. My bet would win me $1,458.03.
Not bad. More money than you started with.
I mean, it's $1, so I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You picked Eagles. You picked Packers as well.
Yes.
You don't pick the Falcons. You picked the Bears, however.
Yes.
Lions over Seahawks. You picked the Bills over the Raiders.
Yes, I did.
Chargers over Titans.
Yes, I did.
Did you pick the Ravens or the Bengals?
I picked the Bengals.
Cool. You picked the Colts.
I did do that.
Chiefs, Niners.
Yep, and yep.
Cardinals. Cowboys,
Yes.
Broncos, Dolphins,
Yes.
Saints,
Yes.
Steelers.
Yes.
That's everybody.
Cool.
Your wager is double mine.
From what?
I don't know why.
Cardinals? The Cardinals at all?
Has to be
Probably
the
do
Cardinals.
it.
Let's see. So
Probably the Cardinals or the Bears.
the Bears are +3, so they're actually they're not favored to win as the Buccaneers are. You also picked the Cardinals. The Cardinals are actually +194. Giants are a -235, so that makes sense. There was one other team you picked that was not. What was the other
Chiefs.
difference with us?
Chiefs over Jags.
The Jaguars are the favorite for that game. That's why.
Interesting.
Well, they're home.
Yeah, but it's the Chiefs.
I mean, completely valid, but who knows? Maybe we'll get extremely lucky. And like I said, you get half is always on the table.
Deal.
That would be hilarious. I swear, if we get it 1 week, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Yeah, that'll be pretty crazy.
Just one time. I just need one time. All these $1 bets. If I hit one of them, it's a win. Literally, 1 out of the 36 we bet all season. It's a win. All right. Well, I got it. That's all I got for you. Any other?
That's all I
things?
got. That's all I got.
Injuries suck. And that's been my biggest sad part of the game.
That's the thing in the NFL always.
Yeah. I do want to leave with one thing, and we're gonna quiz you today, Eric. You weren't ready for this, but it's a good thing you weren't ready for this. You can't Google. Okay. Can't use Google.
I'm showing you my hands right now.
I believe you, Eric. You said this earlier, and it prompted me to ask you this question. In the NFL, all the teams are plural.
Right.
The NBA is not actually that. That's not actually true.
Correct.
There are 4 teams that are not plural. Can you name me those 4 teams?
In just the NBA?
Just the NBA. It's only 4 teams.
I can think of 3 off the top of my head. Heat, Jazz, Thunder.
That is absolutely correct. What's the last one? That's crazy. I'm so happy you popped all those. The Jazz is the one I always forget about. I forget they exist.
Yeah. Heat, Jazz, Thunder. Okay, so let's run through all the teams. There's 30 of them. I know that much.
That's
so
30. You've already gotten 3 of them.
So you got the Clippers, Lakers, Warriors, Kings, Blazers. You got the Suns. You got the Jazz. You got the Nuggets. You got the Thunder. You got the T-Wolves.
Why the fuck do you know these by divisions too? What the hell?
I'm going from east to west.
No, like
other way. West to east.
You're spitting the division though. Like you broke them up into their divisions. Like
I did that on accident. I promise.
that's insane.
Okay, so I was in Texas.
You were in
Texas.
Texas.
Spurs, Rockets, Mavericks, Grizzlies, Pelicans.
Uh-huh.
I know, because they're in the West, even though they shouldn't be.
Correct.
But we're out of teams in the West Coast.
That is all 15 teams in the West, by the way. You named all of them.
Yeah, I know West and East. I know that much. I didn't know there was actually divisions in basketball. To be honest with you.
The divisions don't matter as much like they do in football.
Yeah.
But they do have 6 divisions,
Okay.
5 teams in each division.
Okay, let's start in the Southwest. We got the Heat. It's the Magic.
It is the Magic. I was waiting. I was like, when he gets to Florida, he's gonna get it.
Yeah.
Ah, good. Just bravo. Well done. Well done. What about Canada? Do you know what one team lives in Canada?
The Raptors.
Do you know what one team existed in Canada but no longer lives in Canada? And this is the reason they're in the Western Conference?
A basketball team?
Correct. It's not Toronto.
I'm guessing it was the Grizzlies.
It was. They were the Vancouver Grizzlies.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I know the Hornets at one point were the Bobcats.
Dude, the Hornets have the craziest history in any sports team ever existed.
And before then, weren't they in New Orleans too?
So, yes. Okay. So there was. This is wild. Okay, I'm gonna take you on a little trip. The New Orleans Hornets, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, started in Charlotte. Okay, so they were Charlotte. Then they moved to New Orleans. They kept the Hornets. The Hornets then moved. The Hornets stayed the Hornets, right? They were still in New Orleans. The Charlotte Bobcats were an entirely new expansion franchise. Okay, entirely new team. That Charlotte Bobcats team became the Charlotte Hornets when the New Orleans Hornets became the New Orleans Pelicans.
Interesting.
Wild, right?
That is interesting.
Whole new franchise. They were like, we want to go back to our roots. And I'm like, what are we doing, guys? Like, It's crazy. I'm just waiting for the expansion teams to pop up again so we can get the Seattle Supersonics all over again.
Gosh, that would be sweet.
It'd be great.
We talked about the 40-team expansion NFL theory, right? Or I think it was the 36-team expansion.
It was the 36 team.
Yeah.
You haven't heard me talk about the expansion the NBA should do. The NBA should also do 36 teams, by the way. I think 6 more teams would be really cool.
So what, you had 6 teams, you probably put one
in
back
each division.
in Seattle.
One in each division. You throw one in
Yeah, so you
Seattle.
probably
You put them in the Thunder's division. You go
Right,
one in Vegas.
That makes sense.
Right.
One in Vegas.
Then you can go to
You need another one on the West Coast. So what, you put one in like maybe St. Louis?
that's a good one. That's not bad, but because of the that would probably end up being in like the Midwest division, which is unfortunately an Eastern Conference division because it's where Chicago, Milwaukee, and all them play. Indiana.
Okay.
You'd probably put them together. Hold on. I need a map.
So then,
I need a map. Hold on. My map skills aren't this good.
I mean, no, St. Louis is decently close there. There's got to be a better team to put kind of in that division though. Like you could put a team in like Pittsburgh there.
No, because I would put Missouri. I would really put St. Louis in that division. And if you went Pittsburgh, you can put them in the same division as the Sixers. Mm-hmm. Which is like Boston and them.
Yeah, and that's cool. Like Celtics and New York and stuff.
And then you already have a team in Atlanta. You already have a team in New Orleans. You already have two teams in Florida.
So you need another team in the Southwest. So you could put one in Tampa, but that feels cheap.
That does feel cheap, but you could put one in Tampa and put them with the East with Miami and Orlando.
You could put one in Nashville.
That's a thought. What if we put them in Kansas?
Like just in the middle of Kansas?
Dude, yeah, do what they do for Kansas basketball. They already have a big fan base because of Kansas this college.
I mean,
here, let's go. We already got teams. We already have teams in Canada. Let's go to Mexico City, bro. Let's do it. Right below Texas. We're good.
That's something else to consider is put a team in Vancouver.
That's very, but then Seattle's there, so I'd rather Seattle than Vancouver.
We could just realign the entire divisions.
You could you could just put the Vegas team in that Southwest division.
Exactly. Put them with like the Spurs and stuff.
Yeah, hold on, we're cooking. You're cooking. Then you could put Seattle. You could put Vancouver in the same division as the Lakers in them, and then you could put Seattle in the same division as where they were before.
Yeah, so you put like Vancouver on the West, like the West Coast teams, with like Lakers, Warriors.
It's the Lakers, Warriors.
Well, I'm guessing like Blazers, Clippers.
It's not the Blazers. Kings. It's the Clippers, the Suns, the Lakers, the Warriors, and the Kings.
So then you'd have to go like Seattle. It's probably Seattle, Portland, Vegas.
No. So this would be Seattle.
Or no, it'd be Seattle. It'd be Seattle, Portland,
Oklahoma
Utah,
City, Oklahoma
OKC,
City. Unless you realign and put OKC
Minnesota,
with that Southwest team, and then added
Denver.
2 up there. You could put Oklahoma City with the Southwest teams and realign it up top. Just put Vancouver and Seattle in that same division. That would make sense.
And then put Vegas into the West.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
With the California teams in Phoenix.
Exactly, that makes total sense.
You could do that, and then you have Vancouver, Seattle, Portland, Minnesota, Utah, Denver.
Exactly.
And then Southwest, you have
OKC, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, Memphis, and
New Orleans.
Okay,
so then, like the Midwest, you'd have Milwaukee, Chicago, Indiana, Cleveland, Detroit, and St. Louis.
Which is a fire division, by the way. That's kind of cool.
Southwest, you'd have
Miami,
Orlando, Miami, Atlanta, Charlotte. Does Washington get roped in there?
No, Washington's in the other. If I'm not mistaken, Washington's in that other division. I don't remember all the divisions, how they split.
So then what would be the other team in the Southwest?
Hold on, I'll tell you.
The Northeast theoretically is New York, Brooklyn, Boston. Yeah, because it'd be New York, Brooklyn, Boston,
Philly,
Toronto, and Philly.
Yeah, it is. It is. Washington gets roped into that division.
So you can throw a Pittsburgh team there and throw a Nashville team in the Southwest.
Perfect. Yeah, you spitting. It's either that or you go and Kentucky really likes their basketball, but between Louisville and University of Kentucky, you can go Kentucky. I think it's the same situation though.
Louisville wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, Louisville would be really good. They love basketball.
Yeah, you could throw that into the Southwest instead of Nashville.
I love talking about it because it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And I don't talk about basketball as much. Also, one other basketball topic. I'm sorry. Let me end on this note. I'm so sorry, guys. I love basketball and I don't talk about it much with people. So FIBA, the World Cup for basketball, just ended. USA finished 4th, right? USA usually finishes first. We're the best. So we didn't send our best players. It just happens with World Cup. However, LeBron committed to going to the Olympics next year. And he said he's trying to get everybody to go. So everyone's like, y'all pissed off the U.S. because the world won. And it's like, it basically, the World Cup was Infinity War. The Olympics, Endgame. Yes.
Interesting.
Literally, they're like...
LeBron's putting together his Infinity Gauntlet.
Dude! He said, on your left. And it's literally... Dude, he's gotten Steph Curry and KD basically already ready to go. Draymond wants to go. Dame wants to go.
I mean...
Devin Booker, De'Aaron Fox want to go. He literally is. He's collecting the Avengers are there. They're there. Like,
yeah.
This is literally like when it's like history just tends to repeat itself. Okay, when it was a '92 Dream Team. Okay, we were sending college kids, and they were like, "Wow, the U.S. sucks at basketball," so we sent Michael fucking Jordan. And they said,
game over.
Yeah, you guys, everybody lost by like 40. Then they were like, oh my gosh, the U.S. is getting caught up again by the world. And then they were like, hey, we're going to send Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, and Carmelo Anthony. By the way, Dwayne Wade's coming off the fucking bench.
If D Wade's coming off the bench, that's a stacked team. Dude,
this is a team where I sit there and I'm like, man, imagine having to guard Steph Curry. Right? Mm-hmm. And then you're like, finally, I'm getting a break from Steph Curry and Damian Lillard or Kyrie Irving come off the fucking bench. Like, I'm shook. I'd be in shambles. Dennis Schroeder is going to be having to guard them, and he's going to be like shitting himself the entire time. Like, what do you do? What do you do? Oh. He can't even guard them in the NBA. What do you mean you should think of guard him with mediocre teammates? Crazy. Anyway, I just thought it was funny. I thought it was really funny.
It is interesting.
Because someone made a tweet and was like, The Athletic compared Team USA's potential Olympic roster to the Avengers. Mm-hmm. He said, LeBron is Iron Man. They made KD Thor.
I think LeBron's Nick Fury.
They put Joel Embiid as Thanos. Like, what the fuck?
Is he the villain here?
I mean, he is the villain in the NBA.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I know that much.
And you know what pisses me off is they said they made Anthony Edwards Spider-Man, but they literally could have made Ant-Man. Literally, his nickname is Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Literally. It's right there, bro. Yeah, it was right there. But for some reason, Jimmy Butler being Black Widow feels right.
It's a weird sentence to say out loud.
Yeah, I know. I saw it and was like, man, this feels weird. Anyway, I can only log into the
that we talked about the
Twitter.
history of the NBA teams, though. I think that was interesting.
Yeah.
We can go for hours, and I can tell you about, like, the Dayton Triangles. If you want me to.
The what?
It was like one of the original NFL teams. They didn't last very long.
Huh.
But yeah. No, there's actually some like decent history. Like you probably know the Packers are the oldest team, the Bears are the second oldest team.
Yes, I did know that.
Do you know the third oldest team?
The third oldest team? Oh god, I feel like I should know this though. I'm trying to think of old teams. I feel like the Niners are old.
It's not them.
I feel like the Steelers are also old.
I think they're like 5th or 6th. It's the Steelers, but it's not them. You'll never guess this.
Is it a team that currently has their same name?
They do. They've had this name forever. We're not in this city originally. There's your hint.
Oh, that's helpful.
But they've always been their nickname.
The team name is the same, just the city in which they play is not the same.
Yeah. They moved cities quite a bit.
Okay, I'm not gonna cheat. However, I'm going to stare at a NFL team list if that's okay.
Look at our sheet.
Yes. I'm trying to think of teams that moved. I know Carolina's fairly new.
Carolina's, I think, like the third newest.
Houston was also really new.
Because Carolina and Jacksonville were established in like the 90s, and then Houston was established in 2002.
They've always had their name, but they've moved.
Yeah.
The Titans were not the Titans always.
Nope. They used to be the Houston Oilers.
I do remember that. Texans are new. The Jets feel pretty old. And we've established it's the Packers and Bears are the oldest too.
Packers is the oldest. Bears
Is it the
second
Browns?
oldest. It is not the Browns.
That felt
Browns are technically one of the newest.
That felt right.
Technically. Do you know the story with the Browns?
Oh, weren't they like... Hold on. Weren't they like discontinued or something crazy and then someone brought them back?
Yes, the Ravens are the Browns.
That's
technically. Because the Colts left Baltimore to go to Indianapolis, and then the Ravens left Cleveland.
Oh, was it
the
the
Browns
Colts?
left Cleveland? Yeah, it was not the Colts, by the way.
Oh, it's not the Colts?
And
Damn
then
it.
the Browns left Cleveland to go become the Ravens, and like 3 years later, they reestablished the Browns as a technically new team. And you want to know what's crazy? I remember opening night, Cleveland's back, and they got their ass beat because that's just the Browns, right?
Yeah.
And then like 2 years later, the Ravens won the Super Bowl.
That's crazy.
So it's like, and that was like Ozzie Newsome as a GM when they drafted Orlando Pace, I think is his name.
I know who that is, yeah.
No, that sounds like a Rams guy though. But it was an O-line guy that the Rams drafted, and Ray Lewis. They had in their 2 first-rounders.
Yeah.
With the Ravens' first draft as the Ravens, and then went on to be one of the most successful franchises in the history of the NFL.
Was it by chance the Raiders?
So it was not the Raiders.
Damn.
But that's why the Browns hate the Ravens, is because the Ravens were the Browns.
Okay, I give up.
It's the Cardinals.
Damn, wait, where were they before? I don't even know anything about them.
They used to be the Chicago Cardinals.
Did they actually? I didn't know this.
They were the Chicago Cardinals, then the St. Louis Cardinals, and then the Chicago Cardinals again. It was something like that. And then they didn't move to Arizona until like the 90s. But yeah, Cardinals are technically the 3rd oldest team in the NFL.
That's crazy.
Giants are the 4th oldest, and I think Eagles are the 5th oldest.
Yeah, we should be up there.
Yeah.
But I know we've always been in Philly, so.
Yeah, and I know that's actually not true.
Wait, really? Were they always? What did I miss in my history of them?
1 year.
One
during
total
World
year.
War II,
Of course.
when the rosters were low, that the Eagles actually split time in Pittsburgh.
Oh, that makes sense.
And they joined teams, and for 1 year, the Eagles were called the Steagles.
Yeah, we were the Steagles. I remember that.
The Steelers and the Eagles, yeah. So they split time in Philly and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I do.
So that's the
I
only
do
time.
remember that.
It was only for 1 year during World War II. That's the only time the Eagles weren't the Eagles.
Yeah, they were the Chicago Cardinals, then the St. Louis Cardinals, then the Phoenix/Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
Huh. Cool.
So yeah, there's your NFL history lesson for the day.
There you go. You give me I give you basketball knowledge. You give me football knowledge. Crazy.
Exactly.
And then
there was the big one was like the AFL expansion, because that's when I think it was in 1960, and that's when they added. It was the Patriots, the Broncos, the Chiefs, like a bunch of teams.
Yeah,
they added, and that's like when the NFL started to become a thing.
The NBA did the same
with the
thing
AFL.
when we expanded with the ABA.
Yep.
Same exact thing. So I totally get it. And it was even more prominent for the ABA because that was when a lot of black players played in the ABA. So we got a lot of a lot of rich history in the ABA and NBA because of that. Like Dr. J, he played in the ABA. So that was really cool. He came over and he was a menace to society.
I remember a few years ago there was just like a random game to celebrate the old AFL where they wore like throwback uniforms. I remember it was Broncos Patriots. And the Patriots were in like red jerseys and had like the old logo and stuff like this. And I actually didn't know this, but before the Broncos were orange and blue, they like in the old AFL days, they were actually brown and yellow. They wore brown and yellow uniforms that day, and I was like, "What the hell am I watching?" I'm like, "Is this the Wyoming Cowboys playing the New England Patriots?" This is weird.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Yeah, it was some crazy thing. Some crazy players came over from the ABA too. I want you to know. Moses Malone was one of them. Artis Gilmore, David Thompson was a big one. Dr. J, of course, and George Gervin, who was very known for the finger roll, which is what we use a lot today while making layups.
Interesting.
Right. Sports history is cool, man.
Yeah. I'm telling you, we got to do a Jeopardy episode.
We do. We honestly should pick three random people from the Discord and bring them on for Jeopardy.
We could even just do each other. Like, you could do like deep basketball lore, and I could do deep football lore.
We could, yeah, just play
Like we could
basketball.
do like deep cut iceberg stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'd be also really fun to just do a Jeopardy episode for like
That would be fun.
like during the football off season.
I think that'd be a ton of fun.
Yeah, we could definitely pull 3 random people from the Discord. I could tell you 3 people would do it.
Oh yeah.
Like not even that. And then once we put the episode out, we could probably get 3 more people to do it afterwards. They'd be like, "Oh, I want to do it."
Yeah.
We'd be like, "Cool, come on in. Learn something new." You know. All right. Well, on that note, bets are placed. Laura's been taught. Predictions are in. We recapped the season. I still can't get into my Twitter account. I hope you guys are having a great rest of your day.
And in conclusion,
I hope you have a great rest of your day. The Eagles will be playing the Vikings the day you see this episode. And you will be seeing me stream on Twitch my Overwatch match. So you could watch both on the same time if you'd like, on the same exact streaming service. Crazy. I'm gonna head out though. Eric, any closing remarks for today?
dude, I got nothing.
I ain't gotten anything else either. So I'm going to get the heck up out of here. Thank you so much for watching or listening today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. Thank you so much to Eric once again for being that co-host and being a menace to society and loving us and being patient with me today as I had a whole fiasco and life itself just decided to hit me like a dumb truck for no reason. So,
We started hell late today.
Super late. It's 11 p.m.
Yeah,
for
it's
me.
past my bed. It's past my bedtime. So I
Way
imagine
past
it's worse
my
for
bedtime.
You. Yeah.
So we're gonna head out. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all of you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your night. From us over here behind the plays, I'm Davion. That's Eric, and we are out. Peace.
So yeah.